This episode is brought to you by Fidelity. Set your mind free with a free plan from Fidelity. Start by organizing your plan around what matters most to you. As you go, you'll be able to see your full financial picture, which covers spending, saving, debt, and goals in one simple view. Get started by visiting fidelity.com/free plan. Expenses charged by your investments and other costs and fees associated with trading or transacting in your account apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
On today's Smart 7, great news for 85-year-old South Norfolk Council turn to rap and lots more. It's Wednesday the 19th of April, it's Banana Day, and happy birthday Freya Ridings.
The Smart 7, it's news, but
Not the news. Good news if you were born before 1938, because you're one of the very few set to benefit from new rules around prepayment meters. After some were controversially installed by force in vulnerable people's homes, Ofgem's now banned them, but only for over 85s or those with severe health issues. Installers now also have to contact customers at least 10 times and do a site welfare visit, but the guidelines are only voluntary. Ofgem's chief executive is Jonathan Brearley.
Now, I do have a message today for the suppliers themselves. Your reputation is on the line. And if you do not improve what you do, quite frankly, there will be further rules and regulations which will be against your commercial interest.
Campaigners say the new code is weak and are calling for a complete ban on forced installations. Louise Rubin is head of policy at disability charity Scope.
When you look at the code of practice, there are grey areas, there are gaps, and that is a cause for concern for us.
It was Undercover Times reporter Paul Morgan Bentley who exposed the initial scandal. He told Talk TV the energy regulator's new rules, which include installers having to wear body cams, are nowhere near enough.
Ofgem are kind of asking us to celebrate the fact that, 83 and 84-year-olds are still going to have this being done to them in some cases. And, I don't think we should be celebrating just yet.
A report claims the government's underestimated the role racism plays in health inequalities within maternity services. Figures show black women are almost 4 times more likely to die in pregnancy and childbirth than those who are white. Atinuke Orr is the co-founder of 5 Times More and says it's been a huge issue for some time.
These statistics it's not new information. And I think what the report is trying to get at is the fact that there's very slow progress on this, despite the fact that it's been going on for a long time.
Atinuke says there needs to be more training for the maternity workforce. The government says it has a plan to tackle the disparities, but the Women and Equalities Committee's concerned ministers haven't grasped the problem. Caroline Noakes, the group's chair, admitted the problem's complicated, but said women who were surveyed feel ignored when discussing their symptoms.
We must make sure that women are treated in a culturally appropriate way, that we recognise that there is this disparity, that the people living in the most deprived communities are most likely to have the worst outcomes in maternity.
Come on, guys, the message is clear. May's local election is drawing near. Bring your ID to make your vote count. This is what democracy is all about.
Perfect. That's South Norfolk Council's attempt to appeal to younger people and remind them to apply for voter ID before the deadline for May's elections. It's the authority's managing director, Trevor Holden, aka T-Dog, rapping about the new government rules. Most local councils in England are holding elections and everyone's got to show up with photo ID at polling stations for the first time. But the policies come under fire with concerns the move could disenfranchise voters. Policing Minister Chris Philip was challenged on it on Sky News.
I think saying you need some form of ID in order to vote in person on the day is a reasonable thing to request. There are 20 forms of ID that are acceptable, and we found that I think 98% of people have one of those forms of ID.
Fox News has agreed a £780 million settlement in its defamation case with Dominion. The case was taken over claims that Fox had knowingly broadcast lies that the voting machine company was in a plot to falsify election results and steal the 2020 US election. Rupert Murdoch, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity and other Fox stars had been expected to testify at the scheduled 6-week trial, but the case was settled before opening statements were heard. Fox is facing more libel claims from another voting machine company, an ex-employee who says she was coerced into giving false testimony testimony and from a shareholder over the false claims. Journalist and author Michael Wolff says that Fox needed to make a settlement.
Because there was no way that Fox could stand to the exposure that a trial would bring. Not to mention, no way that its 92-year-old chairman could withstand a rigorous cross-examination.
Still to come on the Smart 7, bad news for Chelsea, and even Chris Evans gets ghosted. Right after this. Welcome back.
Tuesday saw Chelsea face Champions League holders Real Madrid in a must-win match at Stamford Bridge. The Blues were 2-0 down from the first leg of the Champions League quarter-final, and the pressure was on for interim manager Frank Lampard. Despite a battling performance, a 58th-minute goal from Rodrigo saw Real Madrid go 3-up on aggregate and then add a fourth to seal the tie and head to the semis. That's Chelsea's fourth loss in a row, but Frank was trying to see the positives.
We play really well for 60 minutes, and maybe it's normal after the goal, 3-0 and the tie, we make some changes to go for it. It's maybe normal how the game pans out to a degree, but 60 minutes really good, and we were, for me, the better team and had chances. Now that standard cannot drop. That's the one message once the dust settles on this for us in the house.
Chris Evans, no not that one, has revealed he's in a fantasy football league with Ant-Man Paul Rudd and some other actor buddies. He popped up on The Tonight Show to promote his upcoming action movie film Ghosted. The Avengers hero will star alongside Ana de Armas, with some of his friends from the Marvel Cinematic Universe also expected to show up for a cameo or two. And given the title of the new Apple TV Plus movie, Jimmy Fallon was keen to find out if Evans, People magazine's 2022 Sexiest Man Alive, had ever actually been ghosted himself. Surely not.
I don't know. I probably blocked it out. See, what I say is I'd almost rather be ghosted, because you can tell yourself a story, like maybe they, lost their phone. If you've had the worst, which is just kind of a gradual less and less and less text, then there's really no confusing what's going on.
A new trailer for war drama White Bird sees Helen Mirren share the story of growing up in Nazi-occupied France with her grandson. It's Lionsgate's follow-up to the 2017 box office smash Wonder, which landed an Oscar nomination. Bryce Gazer reprises his role as Julian Albans, the school bully from the original film. Also starring Gillian Anderson, White Bird hits theatres this August.
You forget many things in life, but you never forget kindness. Because when kindness can cost you your life, it becomes like a miracle.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.